Bounce back is the name of the game for the Port Huron Prowlers tonight in the second of two in Delaware. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you in the Crow's Nest. We're packed in here, ready to go for a Saturday night game between the Prowlers and the Delaware Thunder. The Prowlers dropped last night's game 5-2, a dejected-looking team at the end of that one, but they'll look for an opportunity to pick up 3 points tonight and leave at least a little bit happy with the weekend. We'll get to the pregame show coming up in just a few minutes. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Here in Delaware, puck drop not too far away between the Prowlers and the Delaware Thunder. Of course, the Thunder coming away with a 5-2 victory in last night's matchup. It was Denis Gafarov getting a couple of power play goals to help power that victory, but the real player you wanted to watch in that one was the goaltender for the Delaware Thunder. That was Spencer Kozlowski. 43 saves on 45 shots in his pro hockey debut for Kozlowski. A fantastic performance, frustrated the Prowlers offense all night long and gave his team an opportunity to pick up their 5th win of the season, which they made good on. Let's see what that means for the standings in the FPHL right now. Well, the Prowlers continue to sit in 4th place in the Continental Division, and they're now 5 points behind the Motor City Rockers for 3rd in that spot. Meanwhile, the Thunder hanging around in the Empire. The Elmira Mammoth have struggled as of late, and as they have through most of the season. So the Thunder still with a bit of an opportunity. Elmira just 1-7-2 in its last 10 games. So if there's a time for the Delaware Thunder to strike, it is now. And they have an opportunity to close that gap even more with Elmira trying to pick up a victory tonight. Meanwhile, the Prowlers sit 30 points ahead of the Mississippi Seawolves, which seems like a lot, but still plenty of time left in the season. And the Prowlers will certainly need more points than 64, I believe, if they want to make the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. Let's see what the Prowlers are rolling with tonight. Some line changes up front. Matt Stoya and Dalton Jay will now be on the wings of Evan Foley for tonight's contest. Austin Federley moves from center to wing. He's playing on Matt Graham's line along with Joe Devaney. And then the third line, Tori McLean, Sam Gagnon will flank Dan Chartrand, who moves from wing to center. He was a winger on Evan Foley's line along with Joe Devaney last night. Chartrand did take a number of faceoffs last night and had some success, so head coach Matt Graham wants to put him at center and give him an opportunity to take some more of those faceoffs. Alex Johnson and Dylan Thackeray are going to be the starting defense pair for the Prowlers tonight. All 3 pairings stay the same. Wyatt Hofflin will be in net for the Port Huron Prowlers tonight. And as the previously mentioned, Spencer Kozlowski will also be in between the pipes for his club, making his 2nd straight start. Colton Lancaster will back up tonight for the Prowlers as he made his first career professional hockey start last night. Well, the teams are out on the ice, and we are just about set for the anthem and the rest of the pregame festivities. We will take you down to ice level for that.
With the singing of our national anthem,
Before we drop the puck here tonight, let's take a quick look at the starting goaltenders for tonight's game. We already mentioned it briefly. Spencer Kozlowski will get his second career professional start, 1-0 with an even 2 goals against average and a .956 save percentage. Meanwhile, Wyatt Hoffland back between the pipes for the Port Huron Prowlers, 10-12-1 with a .491 goals against average and an .858 save percentage. Certainly looking for better luck and a better performance than he's had recently, as Hoffland has been pulled in each of his last 2 starts. Matt Graham's line gets the start. That's Matt Graham centering Austin Federley and Joe Devaney if you missed our pregame show. And for the Delaware Thunder, it's their top line, Houston Wilson in between Dennis Gafarov and Danila Milushkin. Alex Basney, Rasmus Asp on defense for the Thunder, and we are underway here in Delaware. Basie takes the D-to-D pass. Wilson couldn't get it forward. Here's Graham. His pass was behind both of his cutters to the net. And now the Thunder try and work it up ice. Into the Prowler zone. Thackeray took it away in the near side corner. Now he stops up behind the net, turned it over to Gafarov. Here's Dennis Gafarov, shoved into the wall by Johnson. Gafarov had a couple of goals last night, both of them on the power play. He was one of the 3 stars of the game, as Devaney tried to make a move at the blue line and offside against the Prowlers. We're just 39 seconds into period number 1. No score yet between the Prowlers and the Delaware Thunder. Evan Foley's line stepping out now for Port Huron. That's Foley, Jay, and Stoya. As the puck goes behind the net, pops back out. Here's Austin Weber, the former Prowler. Rink-wide feed over to Wolf. Wolf tried to send it on net, and that was blocked away by Gino Mini. Mini on the puck now, gives it up to Foley. Foley goes off the glass and ahead. And Charlie Bedard feeds it over to Toivo Hannakainen, number 6, the big Finn. Hannakainen sends it up towards Weber. Weber curling away from Jay. Back across to Hannakainen. It's sent out, and Evan Foley finishes his check on Wolf. Wyatt Hoffland keeps things moving with both teams on the change. Sent in on Kozlowski. He leaves it for his defenseman. Moving up ice is Delaney. He's able to get the flip on to Melso. Eric Melso with an outside try, and Hoffland able to glove it and hang on for a whistle. 18-17 to go in period number 1. Offensive zone draw coming for the Thunder. It's going to be Chartrand and Melso in the circle. And Torrey McLean able to take it off the draw, but had it stripped by Grant Mentis. Luckily for the Prowlers, Dustin Henning rescues it in front. Here's McLean again. This time he's able to dump it deep. And now it's Delaney stepping his way through center. Melso back to Delaney, couldn't feed it out in front. And Sam Gagnon on it, able to find McLean at center. Torrey McLean couldn't get that shot through. He and Basie go into the corner together. McLean leaves it for Chartrand, tried to put it out in front, and Kozlowski got a pad on it. It's dumped all the way back down, but on goal, so the Thunder will be able to make a change. As Gagnon tried to dump it in, play it right off of Chartrand. Second opportunity, does get it deep. Basie. And now it's rimmed around to the near side to Milushkin. Devaney able to poke it in, trying to outrace the defense. Joe Devaney couldn't pull it to the forehand as Ivanov was there defending. Johnson able to cut that one off at center. Ivanov there. Ivanov battling with Graham. Graham just trying to keep it in. He does. And Devaney able to cycle it deep. Federley, head up. Basie takes it away, off the boards to Wilson. He gets it out to Gafarov. Sends Malushkin on his way. Puck loose in the corner. Alex Johnson first on it for the Prowlers. Johnson up to Devaney. One touched it, gave it away. Wilson couldn't pull the trigger with a back-checking Matt Graham on him. Here's Dylan Thackeray around to Johnson. Devaney tried to one-touch it out. Thunder keep it in again. Floats behind the net. Federley picks it up off the wall and then sends off the boards to Graham all the way across to Devaney. His shot goes off a stick of J.C. Moritz and out of play. 16:11 to go in period number 1. Officially right now, shots 1-0 in favor of the Delaware Thunder. So Wyatt Hofflin, the only goaltender to have a save recorded so far in this one. Foley wins the faceoff back cleanly. Minnie whipped it on net. That hit a body on the way through. Jay backhands it in the direction of the cage. Minnie up top again. D to D to Hainsel. Adam Hainsel gets dumped there by Weber. And now Asp up ice. Picked off by Jay. He has Foley in front. Tried to send it there, but it passed just a little bit too hard for Evan Foley to handle. Physical play continues as Weber has it. He dumps it in. Minnie gloves it down, finds Chartrand fresh off the bench. Chartrand sends Jay into the zone. He and Weber get there together. And Austin Weber rims it around towards Di Costanzo, who had a pair of goals last night. It's Bedard with his team changing. Sends it all the way across the zone. Jay sent it back across to the far side. Stoya off the boards and out. And Melso first on back in his own end. We played 5 minutes in this opening period. No goals yet between the Prowlers and the Thunder. Gagnon dumps it in. Chartrand chasing after it with Hannakainen. And now Bedard dumps it up the boards. Got through Henning. Parsons and Melso on the chase. And Brian Parsons gets there first. Here's Torrey McLean. McLean through center. Into the offensive zone, pulls it to the backhand, floats one from a tough angle, puts it back out in front, puck loose in the crease. It comes back out, McLean got a touch on it, and now it's back to center. Prowlers in the midst of a change as Grant Mente comes up. Toe drag, shoots, and a save by Hofflin, and he'll hang on for a whistle. 14-14 to go in period number 1, and we will take a timeout. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I've worked at Pioneer and now Corteva for 36 years. It goes by very quickly.
This is a pretty noble profession where you're giving back to humanity.
Curiosity is so important. I learn something new every day.
What's that next challenge that may occur for farmers? You do really feel like you've got an impact on what's coming.
I can see how we're making things better.
And we have the best solutions for our farmers. And I think we're here to feed and fuel the world. I'm proud to be part of that culture, and I'm proud to be part of the company.
Back here in Delaware, let's take a quick look at a couple of players leading their teams in goals. Dalton Jay and Dennis Gafarov, the team leaders in goals for their respective clubs. Jay with 27, Gafarov with 23, each of them contributing 2 goals in last night's game. So the top guns on the board for both sides last night, a 5-2 win for the Delaware Thunder. No score yet here in Harrington. Early shots favor Delaware 2-1. 14-14 left to go in the opening period. Matt Graham's line goes out against Houston Wilson's line. That includes Gafarov. And Wilson able to win the faceoff. Not too cleanly though. And Dylan Thackeray steps up and he's able to dump the puck in. Sent all the way back down and iced by Eric Oganazov. Oganazov, just like Alex Basie, wearing the full fishbowl tonight. He was scratched for last night's game, acquired in a trade from Binghamton in November after 5 games with the Black Bears. He's played 26 here in Delaware. This is number 27 for him as a member of the Thunder. Thackeray sent it deep, and a good reverse hit by Thackeray on Aganazov. Now Graham sent it out in front. Devaney turns it on net and just missed it wide. Federley tried to sauce it to the line. Couldn't find Alex Johnson. And now Hofflin leaves it for Thackeray. Thackeray up to Federley. He sends Joe Devaney on his way. Now up to Matt Graham. Prowlers pushing the pace. But the drop pass to Devaney poked away by the long stick of Asp. To a side scrum in the corner. Johnson comes in to help out. Comes back to Asp. He rims it around this side. Adam Hainsel pinches in. First one on the puck. Graham out in front looking for Devaney. Wilson cut it off. Now here's Houston Wilson working his way up ice. Backhand pass to Milushkin. Has Gafarov with him. Gives the drop pass there. Gafarov couldn't send it back to Milushkin in front of the net. Minnie starts a rush of his own. Devaney. Devaney dropped it off. Nobody was there. And now another opportunity for Delaware. Adam Hainsel was trying to come over and throw a hit on Gafarov as the pass was in Gafarov's feet. But after all of that, the play offsides at the Prowlers line. 12:42 to go in period number 1. No score yet as the Prowlers send out the Foley line up against Rocco DiCostanzo's line. He worked back to Hannakainen. Rims it all the way around. Parsons able to deflect it along. Parsons and Weber battling for it. Now it's a two-a-side scrum in the corners. Henning and Wolf join the party. Weber tried to feed it out in front. Foley got a stick on it. Popped up high in the air, and Hannakainen gets it deep. Weber over towards DiCostanzo off his skate, and now Dalton Jay starts a rush. Jay to Stoya. Couldn't get around Hannakainen. And the Thunder trying to get numbers moving the other way. Wolf put it on net, and Hofflin made the save. He gathers in the rebound and covers up for a whistle with 12:03 left in period number 1. Wyatt Hofflin has been brilliant at times this year, and he's also had plenty of not so brilliant moments this season. He's trying to work his way back on track and be the starting goaltender that the Prowlers were hoped that he could become when they signed him. As it looks like a penalty is coming up. Hooking is the signal. And I believe going into the penalty box is going to be Delaney. Oh, hooking was the signal, and it is indeed TJ Delaney, the guilty party. So the Prowlers will get their first opportunity on the man advantage. 0 for 5 yesterday, including a power play early in the third period. And now here's Grant Mentis. Grant Mentis with a step on Federley, goes to the backhand, saved by Hofflin, and he covers up for a whistle. Prowlers did give up a shorthanded goal in last night's game to Rocco DiCostanzo. That was the 5th goal of the game, and the backbreaker, as Port Huron had an opportunity early in the third period on the man advantage. Instead gave up that shorthanded goal, and it really took the wind out of the sails of any kind of comeback. Ivanov goes off the boards. Matt Graham able to pick it up, so the Prowlers start into the zone. Minute and a half to go on the power play, but Torrey McLean blew a tire, and the puck sent back to Prowler ice. Here's Austin Federley. Played it off the back of the cage. Comes back to him. Prowlers get out. It's Jay. 3 Thunder meet him at the blue line. And Dalton Jay finds a space into the zone. They set up. Thackeray over to Stoya. Across to Jay. Jay over to Graham. Up high, Thackeray. Head up, takes the shot, knocked down in front by McLean, and cleared all the way down by Ivanov. 53 seconds to go on the Prowlers power play as they switch up the unit. 10:42 now left in period number 1. It's Stoya stepping out from behind the cage. He feeds it up to Dan Chartrand. Chartrand rims it around, but Asp cut it off. Rasmus Asp trying to start a short-handed break, but it's poked off his stick neatly there. And now Chartrand rims it deep. Devaney and Asp get there together. Chartrand back on the puck on the near side. Chartrand walks up the wall, gives over to Johnson. Now Matt Stoya at the top. Stoya rips one, he scores! Matt Stoya's first of the year gets the Prowlers on the board first with 10:01 to go in the period. And Matt Stoya has one of the better shots on this Prowlers team. He showed it last night, just couldn't find the target last night. But this time, able to beat Kozlowski, and the Prowlers get the first goal of the game. It's a power play goal. So two big things there for Port Huron as they take the lead. Thunder looking for a response as Grant Mentis couldn't get that one through a wall of white jerseys. Matt Stoya with his 5th point of the year with the Prowlers in game number 7. Of course, he played one game in October with Port Huron between SPHL stints. Came back a couple of weeks ago from the SPHL as Bedard's outside shot stopped by Hofflin. And he's been here ever since. Picked up 4 assists in the span since he's come back, and now has his first goal back with the team. It's his 2nd season. He did play a few years ago with the Prowlers before he started his SPHL career. It's Gagnon. He's putting it softly on net, steered away by Kozlowski. Now Gagnon behind the cage. Comes to the near side corner. And a holding penalty is being signaled. We'll see who they're taking. And by the looks of it, it seems to be Dan Chartrand. Now, McLean has the gloves off with Melso in front of the Delaware bench, and they go straight to the ice. That one tough to see from our vantage point, but I do see it on the camera. Great camera work here from Delaware Thunder's intern. We appreciate his help, but Torrey McLean takes his man to the ice. That was Eric Melso. I'm not sure exactly what started it, as I was just trying to figure out who was heading to the penalty box for the Prowlers. But now we'll have a little bit more to figure out. Luckily, a TV timeout coming so that we can figure it out. It looks like just some words between Melso and McLean. Melso gave him a bit of a shot to the back of the head, and Torrey McLean didn't like that. They dropped the mitts, and it's Torrey McLean's first fight as a member of the Port Huron Prowlers. And they'll figure all this out. We will head to break. 9:02 to go in the first period. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Back here in Delaware, 9:02 to go in period number 1. Right now, they only have penalties up on the board for Torrey McLean and Dan Chartrand. It's going to be a 5-on-3 for the Delaware Thunder as McLean picks up an extra 2. Both McLean and Melso get 5 for fighting. Chartrand's holding penalty was the original one. Then Torrey McLean gets an extra 2 for slashing. So out of all of that, a 5-on-3 for the Delaware Thunder. Power play that was 3 for 8 last night, and a big reason why the Thunder won that game. Maleschkin swung and missed at a one-time opportunity. It's Wilson. Comes out to Gafarov, over to Maleschkin. That one hopped away from him. Stoya took him into the wall. Batted to the line, but not out. Ivanov to Gafarov. Back to Ivanov. Gafarov takes the shot, blocked down by Parsons, and it's sent down the ice. Gafarov with the puck now. 2 power play goals for him last night. And he has a team-high 8 on the man advantage. And team-high 23 overall this season. We're about halfway through the penalties. Here's Wilson feeding it down low. Delaney on the doorstep, and Hoffling got down to make the save. Wilson head up, has Malushkin driving down. They get it over to him. Malushkin back up top to Gafarov. Malushkin again in front looking for a tip. Gino Mini able to clear that one away. And he does get it back to center ice. 39 seconds left to go on the Delaware power play. 7:38 left in period number 1. It's Malushkin back in, leaves it for Gafarov. Gafarov walks in, drops to Wilson. Wilson down low to Delaney. And now it's Malushkin. Head up, goes up high to Asp, and through a screen, Wyatt Hofflin able to fight that shot off. Dustin Henning finds that puck on the boards, clears it to center. Prowlers 5 seconds away from getting out of this one. Gafarov back in, leaves it for Malushkin. He shoots, deflected wide. We're back to 5-on-5, a huge PK for the Port Huron Prowlers. They kill a full 2 minutes of 5-on-3 time. They still lead 1-0, under 7 minutes to go in the period, and now they have a 3-on-1. Chartrand in, shoots, and he just missed it high. Wolf curling away from Matt Graham. Wilson able to corral that puck. Comes up to Bedard. Wolf and Graham head behind the net together. Here's Chartrand up to Austin Federley. Federley working on Hannakainen, gives back to Chartrand. He shoots, and a good save by Kozlowski. He'll hang on for a whistle. And a little bit of extracurriculars going on around Kozlowski's crease. He'll break everybody up. And I believe we will head to a timeout. Supposedly in just a minute. Actually, never mind. We already did take the timeout while we were figuring out those penalties. So my bad on that one. Instead, it's a Prowlers offensive zone face-off where Evan Foley will take on Rocco DiCostanzo to Spencer Kozlowski's left. Tied up there at the circle. Chipped out past Stoya by Wolf. Mini chasing it down. That puck rolling as it got to Prowler ice. Gino Mini has it up to Dalton J. Stoya harassed there by Wolf. Wolf able to take the puck away. Now it's Weber on the backhand. Takes the shot, saved by Hofflin. He squeezes it to his body and hangs on. And now Wolf and Stoya wrestling a little bit in the blue paint. So the extracurriculars move from Kozlowski's crease to Wyatt Hofflin's. And from our spot here between the benches in the crow's nest above the scorer's booth, we can hear some chirping going on back and forth between both benches. I know I hear Tori McLean's voice to my left here. Foley and Wilson in on the face-off. Grant Mentis takes it off the draw. He sends it in. Wilson and Mini chasing after it. Comes to Stoya, chops it along, and now Evan Foley couldn't get there ahead of Oganezov, but Foley has it again to Stoya. Makes one extra move, takes the shot, and sent it high. I think Kozlowski got a piece of it. I think Stoya could have taken that shot right as he got the pass from Foley. He ended up having to take one through traffic and maybe wasn't able to pick his spot as well as he wanted to. It's Mini giving to Stoya. Watched by Delaney, 5:13 to go, period number 1. Basie up to Grant Mentis. Got it through Foley to DiCostanzo. Hainsel steps up to disrupt. And now Delaney dumps it deep. DiCostanzo dumped there by Adam Hainsel behind the net. Stoya 1-on-2 through center. Plenty of thunder back. And Stoya's outside try caught the glass and the netting. So we will get a whistle. And this time we will take a timeout with 4:49 to go in period number 1, and the Prowlers with a 1-0 lead. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeborn cutting to the net, save, rebound, score!
Every goal.
Back to Jay. Wrist shot, he scores!
Every save.
Going the other way, Papandrea, saved by Hofflin, the rebound, another one!
Every hit.
Good hip check!
Every
Fires, and he scores!
single.
Michael Haskins, cut pad, heading with another good shot, and then a left, oh boy!
Game.
Cardinal, poked away by Hofflin, and the Prowlers win it!
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
Back here in Delaware, it is 1-0 Prowlers on the strength of a Matt Stoya power play goal. Shots on goal early on, 7-4 in favor of the Delaware Thunder. Prowlers 1 for 1 on the man advantage, and the Thunder 0 for 2 as the Prowlers have killed off already in this game a full 2-minute 5-on-3. So a big boost there for the Prowlers to kill that one off, and they'll try and continue to turn that into offense here. As they get the draw to Spencer Kozlowski's left. And Matt Graham's line heads out there with Austin Federley and the former member of the Delaware Thunder briefly last season, Joe Devaney. Moritz sends it around the net, over to Asp. Asp back to Moritz. It's Wilson. Feeding it all the way across to Gafarov. One touches it on to Malushkin. All by himself and surrounded. His shot blocked nicely by Dustin Henning. Graham sends it up to Austin Federley. Off the glass and out just over a leaping Asp. And now Dustin Henning starting at 2-on-1. He shoots, and that one stopped by Kozlowski, and Devaney bats it in. The hop off the glass, Joe Devaney bats it out of the air, and the Prowlers have a 2-0 lead. Great hand-eye coordination for Joe Devaney, and the former member of the Delaware Thunder gets one back in his old stomping grounds. 4:16 to go in period 1, and a much better first period for the Prowlers on the scoreboard. As Evan Foley and Rocco DiCostanzo get set for this face-off. It's Devaney's 22nd goal of the season, sitting firmly in second place on the Prowlers in that category. Now 5 behind Dalton Jay. That one floated towards the net. Wolf tried below the goal line to catch Wyatt Hofflin off his post. And now it's Thackeray. Over to Foley. Up the right wing side goes Evan Foley. Chartrand couldn't step around Hannakainen. Weber, one touched it along. That was taken away by Foley. Here's Alex Johnson with the puck. Johnson sends it across towards Foley. He deflects it along and heads off for a change. It's Delaney back in. Taken off his stick neatly by Thackeray. Now Prowlers up the ice. Matt Graham tried a nice move, got around on the other side, and can only manage a swipe at the puck that Kozlowski's able to cover up. And Matt Graham with a nice little dangle and able to step around his man slightly. And now we have a little bit of extra chatting between Charlie Bedard and Dan Chartrand, and now Austin Weber stepping in against his former teammate Dan Chartrand. And Chartrand will be sent back to his bench by the linesman. The linesmen tonight are Cameron Campbell and Steve Cannon. The referees are Mike Ziegler and Justin Crawford. It's Graham and Melso in the face-off circle. One back, Jay, and he ripped it just wide. Hainzel comes in deep, keeps the puck alive, but just sent it out of play, so we'll have another face-off, and at least for the Prowlers, it stays in Thunder territory. So if you're Port Huron, you don't lose the zone. And now they're discussing if it should be outside or inside. Thunder bench wants it outside. And now they'll go inside, back inside the zone. So from the same spot as before, we'll see if the Prowlers are able to run a similar face-off play or a different one. One back to Stoya, turnaround shot, pushed it wide. Delaney up to Grant Mentis. He has Melso with him. Grant Mentis into the zone. Curls back. Head up, gives to Basie, winds, fires, and a save by Hofflin. And he has that one in the breadbasket for a whistle. 2:52 left in period number 1. Thunder sending out their top line for this offensive zone face-off as Wilson draws in with Graham. Matt Graham able to beat him cleanly. Hainzel reverses up the near side boards. Jay stops behind the cage. Dalton Jace sends it up to center. Stoya able to get a tip on it, so icing waved off. Basie first on it below his own goal line. Knocked down by Jay. Couldn't catch up to it. Stoya will take this turnover, though. Outside try, stopped by Kozlowski easily with the glove. He'll hang on for a whistle. 2.5 to go in period number 1, and the Prowlers get an offensive zone face-off thanks to a nice turnover by Matt Stoya. I guess I should call it a takeaway more than a turnover, but either way. And it comes over to the near side boards. It's Wilson backhanding it up towards Malushkin. Malushkin across to Gafarov. Took a hit there from Foley. Gives to Federley, rips one. And Kozlowski has that one knocked down. And he hangs on. And now Foley and Moritz getting into a bit of a slashing battle in front of the cage. Not much more coming from that, and it was Moritz who knocked down Austin Federley as he was deflecting a puck in last night's game in the high slot, and I mentioned that Moritz has about a foot on Austin Federley. So maybe a little bit of leftover animosity from that play. As Henning sends it down low, but no, Moritz and Federley certainly not in the same weight class. As here's Devaney, up high to Henning, sent it down low, looking for Foley at the side of the crease, and he was knocked down by Moritz. Now Foley comes back with a nice steal, lifting the stick of Wolf. Devaney tried a shot, knocked away by Aganazov. Aganazov with it now, gets around Graham, up to Weber. Chartrand able to send it back in to Thunder territory. 90 seconds to go in period number 1. Asp hassled by Dan Chartrand. And now Wolf looking for a cross-ice pass. It cuts to Weber, but offsides as Austin Weber was already in the zone when that puck crossed the blue line. A Prowler got a touch on it. That almost gave Weber an opportunity on the broken play. Thunder bench and Torrey McLean exchanging some words. And we'll see if Torrey McLean gets involved again. And they'll tell Torrey McLean that that's enough. They'll line up for the faceoff. McLean lining up with TJ Delaney. Still plenty of words coming from the Delaware bench. Aganazov sent it forward. Stoya sent it back the other way. It's Delaney with it now. Delaney into the Prowlers zone. His shot was blocked. Delaney has it again. And it comes out to McLean. Up to Stoya, 3-on-2 if they hurry, but Stoya elects to dump it instead. Took a funny hop behind the net. And now Grant Mentis sidesteps a hit from McLean. Grant Mentis into the Prowler zone. Marquis Grant Mentis sent it just wide. 36 seconds to go in the period, and that one deflects past the net. Stoya dumps it out, and the Prowlers will make their final change of the period. Aganazov with 23 seconds left gives to Malushkin. Malushkin watched by Graham. Danilo Malushkin off the glass, glove down by Devaney. Devaney all the way across looking for Adam Hansel. A 2-on-1 developing for Delaware. And Gino Mini able to pick off that pass. 3 seconds left to go in the period. And that's going to do it for 20 minutes of play as the Prowlers have a 2-0 lead on the Delaware Thunder. Certainly a much better result on the scoreboard for the Prowlers through 20 minutes than they had last night, and they'll head to the locker room with a pair of goals from Matt Stoya and Joe Devaney. Shots on goal in that opening period, 8 for either side. And once again, it is 2-0 Port Huron Prowlers as we head to our first break. Well, spring is coming up, so update your look at the Port Huron Prowlers team store located on the west end of McMorran Arena. The store is open every home game all season long, featuring t-shirts, sweatshirts, car stickers, and more. Authentic and youth jerseys are available while supplies last. Rep your team in style with gear from the Prowlers team store. 2-0 Prowlers as we hit intermission number 1. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Back here in Delaware, we're just getting set for the start of the second period, and it's the Port Huron Prowlers with a 2-0 lead on the Delaware Thunder. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight as the Prowlers get goals in that first period from Matt Stoya and Joe Devaney to take that lead. Stoya's goal, a power play goal, walked to the top of the power play unit up near the blue line and just fired one through traffic past Kozlowski. And then Joe Devaney took advantage of Dustin Henning's shot going off of Kozlowski off the back glass. It bounced back in front, and Devaney able to bat it in out of the air. So Joe Devaney picking up his 22nd goal of the season. And for Dustin Henning, that's his first point in 16 games, and we have a little bit of extra fireworks going on before the opening faceoff here. Alex Basie chatting with Torrey McLean, and Dustin Henning getting in the middle of that. And now Basie still with words for Henning as Basie gets set at his defense position. So we'll see if that turns into anything more as we get set for this opening faceoff, which will not include Torrey McLean. It will include Basie. And Basie, of course, lined up at the defense point right in front of the Prowlers bench. Perfect position for a little more drawing, but now, we are now underway. It's Rasmus Asp chasing after this puck. Graham took it away in the corner, tried to center. Stays behind the net. Graham has it again. Head up, he gets it deep to Joe Devaney. Collapsed on by a couple of Thunder. Thackeray goes D to D to Johnson. Puck comes on net, it's there in the crease! And Kozlowski squeezes the pads together and covers up for a whistle. And now Rasmus Asp trying to run Austin Federley into the ground. They'll be separated. But it was a bit of a sneaky shot there coming through that Kozlowski is able to stop. And the puck did sit there in the crease behind Kozlowski for just a moment. And Matt Graham was there digging away, but unable to deposit it for the Prowlers' third goal of the game. We're just 31 seconds into period number 2. Face-off one back by the Thunder. Bedard works it up the boards to Gafarov. He finds Malushkin up ice. Malushkin over to Wilson. Pass was in his skates. Still able to get it back to Malushkin. Pushed off the puck by Stoya. And that puck just getting stuck. It looks like there's a little bit of extra water over in that corner. Prowlers have iced the puck, but there seems to be a little bit of extra water over in that corner in Prowler ice on the near side, and that puck got stuck a couple of times. Got stuck on Malushkin, and then got stuck a little bit on Evan Foley as well. So just something to keep an eye on until the ice gets properly torn up further along in this period. We're just 55 seconds in. Hannakainen risks it wide off the back glass. Here's Bedard putting it back on net, and Hofflin has that one in the catching glove. Another defensive zone face-off coming for the Prowlers as Evan Foley and Rocco DiCostanzo will line up for it. DiCostanzo able to win this one as well. Weber turnaround shot goes off of Stoya. Minnie up towards Jay. One touches it along for Evan Foley. Splits the defense, sends it back in front. Jay couldn't get a stick on it as he was crashing the back door. It's Weber on the rink-wide pass. Austin Weber leaves it for Wolf. Wolf couldn't get himself in a shooting position. Still has the puck, sends it up to the point. Bedard sent one deflected by DiCostanzo. Now back on net, and Hofflin has an answer for that one. Minnie works it up the boards. It's Moritz rimming it deep. Now, at the side of the net there was Grant Mentis. He couldn't get that one to go. Working up high, Wolf turnaround try, and Hofflin has that one in the breadbasket. And now Hansel and Wolf with some pushing and shoving. And they're separated. Tensions high, and Adam Hansel trying to get after Jacob Wolf. And they'll be sent back to their respective benches. Austin Weber standing there on the Delaware bench with some words for another one of his former Prowlers teammates. I think I've hammered home that point enough that Austin Weber was on the Prowlers. I don't know. We'll see if I can find more ways to shoehorn that in. Anyway, Melso and Chartrand on the face-off. It's one back by Dan Chartrand. Now Henning able to get it up to McLean. Taking off his stick, and now Chartrand with it back. Chartrand dumps it in. Moritz chasing after it. Chartrand and McLean both in there. McLean dumps Moritz, and Torrey McLean is going to get a penalty for that hit. McLean not happy with this call as he heads over to the penalty box. Charging is the official penalty call, much to the delight of the Delaware Thunder faithful. Roughly 700 strong, but in a building this small, it sounds like a much bigger crowd. That's certainly one thing they're good at here in Delaware, is packing the house. But either way, the Thunder get their third opportunity on the power play. Of course, their first two power play chances came at the same time. It was a full 2-minute 5-on-3 that the Prowlers were able to kill off. Matt Graham is out there for Port Huron on this PK. He was one of the two players in the penalty box during the last Thunderman advantage. Melushkin one-time shot stopped by Hofflin. It's Graham, Chartrand, Parsons, and Henning for Port Huron. And the Thunder have their top power play unit out there. Wilson, Gafarov, Ivanov, Melushkin, and TJ Delaney. Off the face-off, Graham able to win it to the corner. Henning turns away from Delaney nicely, and he sends it all the way down. Chartrand in there, steals it from Ivanov. Dan Chartrand all by himself. He'll just send it back to friendly sticks. Henning collects behind the cage, gives it over to Parsons, rims it up the wall. Melushkin able to keep it deep, so that one didn't end up working too well for the Prowlers. Now Henning with a chance to get it out, and he does. We approach 3 minutes gone in period number 2. Still 2-0 Prowlers with 1:15 left on the charging penalty to Torrey McLean. Melushkin gets through the neutral zone. Little head fake as he works into the Prowlers' end. Sends it all the way across to Wilson. Fires. That one deflected wide by Delaney. And Dustin Henning make it 3 clears for him, although he wanted that one to go a little bit further than it went. Gafarov back in. All 9 skaters on the ice for both teams have been out there for this entire power play so far. 40 seconds left on it as Ivanov's shot blocked by Graham, and it goes wide. Gafarov steps in, gives to Delaney, across to Wilson. What a save by Hofflin, sliding from right to left. And Matt Graham able to dump it down right on Kozlowski. Final 15 seconds ticking off the clock. Here is Graham with an offensive opportunity. His backhand try stopped by Kozlowski, and Graham ran into Kozlowski as he was ridden into the net by, I believe it was Wilson who was defending him. Everybody seems to be okay, but the whistle comes as the net came off. 12 seconds left to go on the penalty to Torrey McLean. We're a tick past 4 minutes gone in period number 2. Prowlers with an offensive zone faceoff, still short-handed. There are 5 Prowlers out on the ice. And now Matt Stoya will head back to the bench. So we have the correct number of players on both sides. It's Foley, Jay, Thackeray, and Johnson out there for the Prowlers. Thunder get their top power play unit off. They send out the third line. That's DiCostanzo's line. As Bedard couldn't feed it over to DiCostanzo. He's backed up by Austin Weber. Poked off his stick neatly there by Thackeray. And now Matt Stoya steps out onto the ice, and too many men called on the Prowlers as he got off the bench just a hair too quickly. McLean stepped out of the box and Stoya onto the ice. And just a second too quickly as Matt Stoya was trying to get that headman feed from Dalton Jay. So the Prowlers right back to the penalty kill with 15:42 to go in period number 2. So Chartrand and Wilson in on the faceoff as the Thunder get the power play unit right back out there. Malushkin's shot tipped just wide. Ivanov able to knock down the clearing attempt. Malushkin down low. Gafarov one-touched it along. That pass went to nobody. Delaney and Hainsel battling for the puck. Chartrand in there as well. He rips it, but Wilson knocks it down with the glove. It's Gafarov behind the net. Centered it right to Evan Foley. He clears. It goes off the linesman. And they never started the clock for the penalty. I think that happened last night as well. They never started the clock for the penalty against the Prowlers, and they'll have to figure that one out. The game clock started, but the penalty clock did not. That's very strange, and again, I think that happened last night. In the third period, I remember mentioning it. It was already a 5-2 game at that point when that happened, but they'll have to figure this one out when it's Joe Devaney who's serving the bench minor when he gets to come out of the box. Meanwhile, here's Gafarov taking a hit there from Henning. Gafarov still on the puck. Now it's Gafarov again. Below the goal line, out high to Malushkin. He shoots and he scores. So it doesn't even matter as Danilo Malushkin gets a power play goal and cuts the Prowlers' lead in half. And now they're bringing down both clocks. So I guess neither clock started, but either way. Malushkin picks up his 14th goal of the season, 6th on the power play. This is his first season in North America for the Russian native. Previously played in his native Russia, also in Hungary and Latvia during his pro career. Last year in Latvia with HK Dynaburga, 9 points in 24 games. And for Delaware this year, now has 30 points in game number 25. Hofflin impeded that dump a little bit behind the net. DiCostanzo couldn't reach out for that one. Hainsel gets it out. And now another whistle coming. I'm not sure what this one is for. Maybe an offside against the Prowlers. And they're actually escorting Austin Weber to the penalty box, and the referee making a hooking signal. So the Prowlers will go to the power play when we return, but now only trailing by 1. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I've worked at Pioneer and now Corteva for 36 years. It goes by very quickly.
This is a pretty noble profession where you're giving back to humanity.
Curiosity is so important. I learn something new every day.
What's that next challenge that may occur for farmers? You do really feel like you've got an impact on what's coming.
I can see how we're making things better.
And we have the best solutions for our farmers. And I think we're here to feed and fuel the world. I'm proud to be part of that culture, and I'm proud to be part of the company.
Back here in Delaware, and the Prowlers power play will get set to go back to work. It is Austin Weber, 2 minutes for hooking, up on the penalty clock. So just moments after the Thunder brought it back within 1, Port Huron with a chance to extend the lead back. They're 1 for 1 on the man advantage so far tonight. 14-16 to go still in period number 2. Officially, it's Danila Milushkin from Dennis Gafarov and TJ Delaney. The power play goal for Delaware just moments ago. Prowlers sending out Evan Foley's unit. That's Foley, Chartrand, Devaney, Johnson, and Matt Stoya. This is the unit that got the goal on the first power play for Port Huron. Face-off won back by Delaware. It's chipped along to Wolf, and he sends it all the way down. Wolf chasing after that puck. Stoya gets there ahead of him. Long lead pass comes up to Foley. Now Devaney curls back as they set up the power play. Devaney steps in, makes a move, he shoots, and a save by Kozlowski. Stoya walks up the wall, across the blue line. Now Johnson sneaking down across for Devaney, back up top Stoya. Stoya takes the shot, it's blocked on the way through, puck bouncing around down there, and chipped to the boards. DiCostanzo trying to start a shorthanded rush for himself. Knocked away from him by Johnson. And now Devaney held up against the wall by Milushkin. Delaware making changes. We're about halfway through this Prowlers power play. Milushkin on it, now gives to Wilson behind the net. Back over towards Milushkin. And sent across towards Wilson, poked away by Evan Foley, and Wilson gets it deep, wasting plenty of time on this Prowlers power play. As Port Huron gets the second unit out there, Milushkin tried to throw a hit on Stoya, which he avoided. Here's Dalton Jay with speed. Jay makes a move to the outside, puck rolled away from him. Now McLean leaves it for Foley. Foley out in front, looking for Jay sneaking down. And a diving play there by Milushkin to get it all the way to Prowler ice. 20 seconds left on the power plays. Here comes Austin Federley. Federley, head up, sends it across to Graham, and a good kick save by Kozlowski, reaching the pad out on Matt Graham on the back door. Fans want a penalty, and says Jay couldn't pull the trigger, sent it back out in front, and Wolf got his stick up behind the play on, I believe that's Austin Federley. Now McLean wants a piece of Wolf. And Basie coming in to wrap up Torrey McLean. I don't think Torrey McLean realizes who wrapped him up because he wants a fight, and Alex Basie certainly is not in a position to fight, still wearing that full face shield. Last night was his first game back after suffering an injury in a fight with Daniel Amesbury of Danbury back in December. Austin Federley is heading back to the Prowlers bench. And now McLean wants a piece of Weber. Weber tosses his stick and one glove. And McLean is being shown the door. And Torrey McLean wants an explanation. He's not going to be allowed one. And Torrey McLean has been shown the way to the locker room, and we'll see what all of this means. Of course, the original penalty was coming against Jacob Wolf as he got his stick up on Austin Federley. And that away from the puck. Torrey McLean still yelling in the tunnel. Delaware fans letting him hear it, and plenty of representatives from both sides at the referee circle, including Prowlers head coach Matt Graham, alternate captain Evan Foley, and on the other side for Delaware, alternate captain J.C. Moritz. Right now on my monitor, I'm seeing 2 minutes for high sticking to Jacob Wolf, so must not have drawn blood. Nothing up on the scoreboard here yet. More cheering from the Thunder fans. It's possible Torrey McLean made a reappearance over in the tunnel. And now the referee's discussing with Matt Graham. Mike Ziegler giving Coach Graham the rulings here. Justin Crawford having the same conversation, or at least a similar one, with Evan Foley and J.C. Moritz. 2 minutes are up on the board on the Delaware side, but I'm not sure that's the right number up there. They have Alex Basie's number up there for 2 minutes. And now on my monitor we have Alex Basie and Tori McLean, 2 minutes each for roughing. Tori McLean got a gross misconduct ejection for physical abuse of an official and a 10-minute misconduct for abuse of officials. And then Jacob Wolf, 2 minutes for high sticking. And the only penalty up on the board is Alex Basie's, which I believe it should be Wolf's. If McLean and Basie's roughing penalties cancel out, then Wolf's should be the one up on the board, but instead it's Basie up on the board. But either way, the Prowlers power play. 1 for 2 so far tonight. Johnson feeds it down low to Foley. Now up to Devaney. Stoya to Johnson. One-timer save by Kozlowski. Austin Weber hustling down, looking for that puck. Hofflin keeps it away from him. Johnson, long lead pass, cut off by Bedard. Here's Charlie Bedard, poked away by Stoya. Bedard took a tumble. Prowlers trying to move the other way. It's chipped in towards Devaney. Devaney trying to knock down to Stefano or DiCostanzo, and he scores. Joe Devaney just chopped that puck away from Rocco DiCostanzo, and it ends up getting past Kozlowski, and the Prowlers have a 3-1 lead. 2 goals in the game for Joe Devaney. I think that one just surprised Kozlowski as DiCostanzo played it, I guess, rather dangerously in front of his own net. And the Prowlers able to take that 3-1 lead on Joe Devaney's, again, second of the night and 23rd of the season. Grant Mentis chasing after it. Hofflin skates out of his crease to get there first. Federley up to Dalton Jay. Good to see Austin Federley A-OK. Graham tried to send it down low towards Jay. Puck still loose there in the slot. Jay put it on net, and Kozlowski knocks it down and covers up with 11:09 to go in period number 2. Graham line out there against Eric Melso's line. Officially, it's going to be Devaney unassisted. So he knocked it off of DiCostanzo's stick. Federley knocks that one down in front and just couldn't push it towards the crease. Delaney back out to center. Dumps it in. Parsons and Grant Mentis after it. Puck took a bit of a hop there. Delaney and Parsons in there battling for the puck. Comes out to Federley, head up. He finds Dalton Jay. Jay steps around Asp, but the puck taken back by Oganezov. Grant Mentis stops up, makes a couple of moves at center. He gets into the offensive zone. Grant Mentis over to Malushkin. Rims it around. Gino Mini looking for that puck. Just sent it all the way through the middle of the ice. Chartrand on it, gives it right back to Mini. Nice move by Gino Mini. He scores! What a goal by Gino Mini! Don't ever say the big man doesn't have hands. Oh my goodness. Gino Mini just turned Eric Oganezov inside out, and then he did the same to Spencer Kozlowski. 4-1 Prowlers. You're going to want to see that one again and again and again. Chartrand back into the offensive zone, lifts the stick and got a shot away that Kozlowski's able to stop. Basie has Chartrand up against the wall. It's a two-a-side scrum now as Foley and Wilson join in. So here's Foley out in front. Here's Stoya, turnaround shot. Saved by Kozlowski. Shot from the point, deflected wide. Hannakainen, head up, headman feed. Minnie's able to cut it off. Feeds Stoya. Stoya just avoiding the oncoming choo-choo train of Toivo Hannakainen. Wilson at the offensive blue line, knocked down there by Adam Hainsel. Chartrand flips it out. Graham knocks it down with his glove, and he keeps going. Matt Graham with a delayed penalty coming against Delaware. Down to a knee, gives to Thackeray. Steps to Milia, shoots, save, rebound. Stoya batted at it, couldn't get it. And now the Prowlers go back to the man advantage as Graham was gloving that puck down at the Prowlers blue line. He took a stick up high. Another power play for Port Huron, leading 4-1 with 9:02 to go in the second period. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Back here in Delaware, officially it's J.C. Moritz, 2 minutes for high sticking, and the Prowlers with an opportunity to extend their 3-goal lead. Joe Devaney and Gino Mini scored 1 minute and 23 seconds apart to open up this lead. And the goal by Mini, an absolute beauty, and an early entry for goal of the month here on March 4th. As the Prowlers will send out a power play unit that will include Gino Mini. It's Matt Graham's unit. And Mini replacing Torrey McLean out there as the big body. In case you're just joining us, Torrey McLean has been ejected from this game. So the Prowlers now running with 8 forwards. As Rasmus Asp able to clap it all the way down. Coughlin to Thackeray. Now it's Austin Federley. Saucing it across to Dalton J. He stepped in. It would have been a offsides against the Prowlers, but Delaware instead able to get it all the way down. Federley through center. Gives it on to Jay. And now it's turned all the way back down by Delaware again. It's a 4-minute double minor. They've updated it against Moritz as Graham's in. Graham up towards Thackeray. He was tied up. So Federley collects at center, sauces it over to Jay. Evan Foley, fresh off the bench, catches up to that puck. Comes out high, Federley. Feeds it off the boards. A little miscommunication there. Wilson with a step. Here's Wilson. He scores. A shorthanded goal for the Delaware Thunder. It's Houston Wilson making the Prowler lead 2 goals again. 7:57 to go in period number 2. As the shorthanded goals lately that have been killing the Prowlers, the 10th shorthanded goal against, and that's down there in the FPHL. Delaware has given up the most shorthanded goals in the league at 12 this season. Prowlers now have given up 10 this year. So 4-2 Prowlers still 2 minutes and 50 seconds of power play time to work with. As Stoya walks in, takes the shot, blocked it away by Kozlowski. Stoya on the half wall, feeds it all the way across to Johnson, walks down, looking for Foley in the slot. That was cut off. Foley with it back. Head up, steps in, gives over to Stoya with space. Stoya over to Devaney. Down low looking for Johnson. He picks it up off the boards. Devaney across to Stoya. Puts it towards the net. Foley put it right through the crease. Johnson down to Chartrand. Puck hopped over his stick. Johnson out to Foley, looking for Stoya, but he was a bit out higher than Evan Foley thought. Devaney at the point, back to Alex Johnson, walks in, shoots, and a glove save by Kozlowski. He'll hang on for a whistle, as the Thunder have killed off the first minor penalty, and they even scored a shorthanded goal on it. Still a minute 52 left of power play time, though, for the Prowlers. 6:53 on the clock in period number 2. Graham's unit steps back out. One shot so far on this power play for the Prowlers as Federley sauces it towards the net. And Kozlowski has that one easily. So make that shot number 2 on the power play for the Port Huron Prowlers. Graham wins it back to the point. Jay steps off the wall to take it. Gives over to Thackeray. Dylan Thackeray back over to Federley. To the slot. Graham just tipped it wide. Thackeray again. Winds. Feeds it down towards Jay. And now Asp. He'll skate up ice. Rasmus Asp working on Federley. Hip check there by Austin Federley. Takes out Asp. Jay through center into the offensive zone. Pulls up, lost the puck momentarily, and now Malushkin able to take it for Delaware and fling it down ice. Hofflin leaves it for Stoya. Prowlers making a change. It comes long lead pass to Devaney. Devaney curling away from Malushkin. Alex Johnson up high, Stoya. Stoya risks it down low to Chartrand across Devaney. Couldn't get that puck down low. And it comes out to center. Here's Alex Johnson on it. Feeds it up looking for Federley. Knocked away from him. And now Wilson in. Wilson already with a short-handed goal tonight. Houston Wilson all the way across to Wolf. He shoots. And Hofflin with the save, and he'll hang on for a whistle. Delaware getting some offensive chances on this Prowlers power play. To go along with that short-handed goal by Houston Wilson. 24 seconds left on the man advantage for the Prowlers. 5:25 to go in period number 2. Wilson and Graham set for the face-off. They're sending some Prowlers back out there. Alex Johnson, one of them. I believe he was trying to get off for a change, but just didn't do it quick enough. And now they'll kick Graham out of the face-off. Stoya will take it. And it's poked over to Matt Graham. Sends it high, sends Dalton Jay on his way. Chips it around Basie. Jay, head up, gives to Graham in the slot. And that one wouldn't go for Matt Graham. I think Kozlowski got a piece of it. Stoya walks the line, takes the shot, partially blocked. Power play expiring now for the Prowlers. So they don't get anything on the 4-minute double minor, but they do get scored on. Wolf in, shoots. Stopped there by Hofflin. And now DiCostanzo taken down by Henning. A penalty coming up against the Prowlers, and that one would have been dangerous for Delaware as Kozlowski is getting set to go to the bench, and then the Thunder played it right between their own defensemen. That may have gone in if Kozlowski didn't head back to the net. Hofflin will get the touch on it, and we will get the call. Thunder back to the power play with 4.5 minutes to go in period number 2. And I'll let you know what the signal is as soon as we see it. Slashing is the call So we'll have a Thunder power play when we come back. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeborn cutting to the net. Save, rebound, score!
Every goal,
Back to Jay. Wrist shot, he scores!
every save,
Going the other way for Pandria. Saved by Hoffman. The rebound. Another one.
every hit,
Good hip check.
every
Fires and he scores!
single
Michael Haskins, cut pad, heading with another good shot, and then a left. Oh boy!
game.
Cardinal poked away by Hoffman, and the Prowlers win it!
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
Back here in Delaware, 4-2 Prowlers as we go for the FPHL's quickest scoreboard read. We start in Elmira, the Mammoth, up 3-1 on the visiting Danbury Hat Tricks. They get start for the second period. The Motor City Rockers are trailing the Carolina Thunderbirds 2-1. That one late in the second. Binghamton Black Bears have a 1-0 lead on the Columbus River Dragons down in Georgia. That one through one period of play. And the Mississippi Seawolves and Watertown Wolves are tied at 1 through 10 minutes of action. Brian Parsons, the one sitting in the box, 2 minutes for slashing. And the Thunder looking for their second power play of the game. Danila Milushkin has it. He's over at left point. Right now it's Gafarov with the puck. Sent it over to Wilson. Wilson curling away from Foley. Foley with some good pressure there. Comes to Ivanov. Ivanov head up. Down low to Gafarov. Gafarov walks up the wall. Takes a lane to the net. Sets it all the way across. Wilson couldn't handle that pass. Milushkin walks the line, head up, over to Wilson. Hainsel comes to him, and his shot knocked away by Hofflin. Gafarov up high to Ivanov, gets it right back. His pass up to Ivanov again, taken away by Chartrand, and he sends it the length of the ice. We're halfway through the penalty to Brian Parsons, 3.5 minutes to go in the second period. Milushkin up to TJ Delaney. Delaney goes around the net. Sent it up to Rasmus Asp at the point. Milushkin in front, and Delaney couldn't get that one to go. Dalton J probably got a stick on it. Stoya takes that loose puck behind the net, and he clears it all the way down. 30 seconds left on the penalty to Brian Parsons, under 3 to play now in period number 2. Gafarov mishandled it at center, and Dalton J will give to Dustin Henning. Prowler's able to waste a little more time. Comes off the backboards. Kozlowski had to play it away from Matt Graham. And they're calling a high stick, as I believe one of the members of the Delaware Thunder got a stick on that clearing attempt. And it was over the shoulder, so Kozlowski, being the next one to touch it, drew the whistle. So an offensive zone faceoff for the Prowlers with 15 seconds left on the penalty and 2:44 to go in the second period. Thunder send out DiCostanzo's line, as Graham able to win it forward there. Just trying to keep the puck deep. Final 9 seconds ticking off of the penalty to Brian Parsons. Minnie looking for Jay, instead finds Adam Hainsel. Hainsel shoots, and that one goes high as Kozlowski had to duck out of the way. Asp head up in his own zone. We're back to 5-on-5. Weber deflects it in. Hofflin rims it this side. Chartrand able to just chip it out. Grant Mentis, though, first on it. Marquis Grant Mentis up to DiCostanzo, taken away by Devaney. Devaney being chased down by Wolf. He stops up in the zone. And now it's Weber through center, lost the handle. And now bouncing around, and they score. It's Marquis Grant Mentis able to find that loose puck, and the Thunder pull within 1. And Marquis Grant Mentis, a guy who's been a bright spot for this Thunder squad since signing back in on February 7th. Picks up his 4th goal of the season. With a minute 48 to go in the second period. And we're back to a 1-goal game. Prowlers were up 4-1 at one point, but a shorthanded goal by Houston Wilson and an even strength goal for Marquis Grant-Mentis has made this game tight again. Evan Foley leaves it for Johnson. Johnson couldn't get it up the wall. Wilson, his pass didn't find a friendly stick. Dylan Thackeray starting a rush. 3-on-2 for the Prowlers if they hurry. Stoya sent it towards the net. Save, rebound, and another one from Kozlowski on Dan Chartrand. Minute 16 to go in period number 2. And Kozlowski keeping his team in it here. Great save there on the rebound try. Flipped high and out off the draw. Johnson gloves it down at center. Alex Johnson rims it around. Foley leaves it for Chartrand. Head up. Couldn't send that one on net. And now it's Malushkin taking it for Delaware. Chartrand steals it right back. Took a stick up high. And that one is going to be a penalty on to Danila Malushkin. Another high sticking call. The Prowlers to the power play with 55.6 seconds to go in the second period. So this, unless the Prowlers are able to score here, this power play will be split between the end of the second and the beginning of the third. Matt Graham's unit out there. Joe Devaney taking a spot out here. It's Graham, Jay, Devaney, Thackeray, and Minnie. As Weber able to send it all the way down. Minnie curls away from Austin Weber. He gives up to Jay. Dalton Jay into the zone, walks the line, gives over to Graham. Back to Jay, 30 seconds to go in the period. Thackeray wrists it on. And a glove save by Kozlowski. Thunder switching up the penalty killers. It's Wolf, Wilson, Basie, and Ivanov. Wilson and Graham will be the ones in the face-off circle. They kick Matt Graham out, so Joe Devaney will take the draw. Devaney able to win it back to Minnie. Now Jay feeds it down low. Devaney on the wraparound, and Kozlowski got the toe there on the post. Thackeray has it, but the net has come off. So we'll have another face-off, 16.5 seconds to go in period number 2. Prowlers looking for a late one to extend their lead heading into the third period. Devaney again on the faceoff. He wins it again to Thackeray. Across to Minnie, back to Thackeray. Into the slot. That one bounced towards the net. And Kozlowski able to send it away. 5 seconds left in the period. And it's chipped past Gino Minnie. So that's going to do it for 40 minutes through of play here in Harrington. And the Delaware Thunder, once down 4-1, have battled back to get within one. And it will be a 4-3 game when we return for third period action at the Delaware Fairgrounds Center Ice Arena. Shots on goal in that middle period, 9 for either side and 17 apiece for the full game. Prowlers will have a minute and 5 seconds of power play time when we get going in the third period, trying to restore a multi-goal lead. But first, they'll talk about it in the locker room. Secure your seats for the Prowlers' next home game as they take on the Elmira Mammoth on Friday, March 10th, with puck drop at McMorran Place scheduled for 7:05 p.m. Tickets are available online at phprowlers.com/tickets or by calling the box office at 810-985-6166. That's online at phprowlers.com/tickets or by phone at 810-985-6166. Prowlers with the lead as we head to the second intermission. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Welcome back to the Thunderdome in Harrington, Delaware, as the Port Huron Prowlers have a 4-3 lead over the Delaware Thunder as we get set for the third period of play. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. And before we take a look back at that second period, let's take a look around the FPHL with every single team in action this evening. We start in Elmira, where the Elmira Mammoth have a 3-2 lead on the Danbury Hat-Tricks. That one early on in the third period. Motor City Rockers and the Carolina Thunderbirds are tied up at 2 as they get set for the third period of play in Motor City. Binghamton Black Bears have a 2-0 lead on the Columbus River Dragons as they play early on second period. And the Watertown Wolves and Mississippi Sea Wolves knotted up at 2 through one period of play down in Biloxi. Well, the Prowlers looked like they were sitting pretty in that second period as Joe Devaney poked the puck off of Rocco DiCostanzo's stick. And then Gino Mini came in with a couple of beautiful moves, and those two goals put the Prowlers up 4-1. But Houston Wilson got one back short-handed, and then Marquis Grant Mentis got the other one with under 2 minutes to play in that second period to make it a one-goal game again. Prowlers will have 1 minute and 5 seconds of power play time when they hit the ice. And last night for the Prowlers, they threw everything but the kitchen sink at Spencer Kozlowski. 20 shots, a season high for shots on goal in the third period of a game for the Prowlers this year. But Kozlowski stopped them all last night. We'll see if he can keep his Thunder team in it here tonight. Prowlers this season, when leading after 2 periods, a perfect 15-0-0. They'll try to continue that streak here in Delaware. Both teams hitting the ice here, and we will be right back with puck drop for the third period from Harrington. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeborn cutting to the net, save, rebound, score!
Every goal,
Back to Jay, wrist shot, he scores!
every save,
Going the other way, Papandrea, saved by Hoffman, the rebound, another one!
every hit,
Good hip check!
every
Fires, and he scores!
single
Michael Haskins, cut pad, heading with another good shot, and then a left, oh boy!
game.
Cardinal, poked away by Hoffman, and the Prowlers win it!
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
It will be Evan Foley's power play unit to start this third period for the Port Huron Prowlers. That's Foley, Devaney, Shartrand, Stoya, and Alex Johnson. They'll go up against the penalty-killing foursome of Houston Wilson, Austin Weber, Alex Spacey, and Andre Ivanov. We're underway here in the third period as Matt Stoya works it up to Alex Johnson. Prowlers trying to earn a split here in Harrington after losing last night 5-2. They've led for most of this game, hoping to finish this third period that way. Johnson risks it on, stopped by Kozlowski, the rebound dropped, but first one on it was Ivanov, and he rips it down. 35 seconds left on the man advantage as Chartrand caught that pass. Prowlers offsides, and Dan Chartrand can't believe it. And now some pushing and shoving going on in the corner involving Joe Devaney and Evan Foley. DiCostanzo pulls Devaney out of the pile. I'm not sure exactly what happened to spark that, as Foley is having some words with Rasmus Asp. I think those two were barking at each other yesterday as well. Alex Johnson now caught in the middle of it. It's going to be an offensive zone faceoff for the Prowlers. The faceoff should come outside because it was offsides. With 33 seconds left on the Prowlers power play and 19:28 to go in the third period. A little bit more jawing before we get this faceoff underway. Face-off won back by DiCostanzo. Johnson cuts off the clearing attempt at center. Stoya back over to Johnson. Up to Devaney. Makes his move into the zone, gives to Foley to the back door, and then Foley scores! It came right back to him, and Evan Foley has extended the Prowlers lead to 2. He was looking for Dan Chartrand, who was sliding down, and then Foley is dumped by Asp, or he just took a spill, I'm not sure which. Asp was in the area, but Foley was knocked down, and the referee came down as well. But either way, Foley was looking for Chartrand back door, but the pass came right back to him, and Evan Foley is able to make it a 5-3 Prowlers lead just 48 seconds into period 3. And I think Foley may have fallen on his own. I didn't see it exactly. I just saw Foley and the referee down on the ice, and I saw Asp in the area, and someone pointed towards him, so I wasn't sure if it was him or not, but it seems like it wasn't, so we will continue play as the puck goes deep into Thunder territory. Bedard keeps it away from Gagnon. Now Graham looking for Jay on the centering pass. It's chipped towards Malushkin. He has Gafarov with him. He'll dump it in on Hofflin. Hofflin works it up the boards right to Graham. Battled for in the near side corner. Malushkin digs it out. Now Parsons and Wilson come together behind the net. Here's Wilson, leaving it there. Malushkin on it, sent it out in front, and that goes off of Graham's stick and in. Houston Wilson was looking for Dennis Gafarov, who was crashing the net. It hit Matt Graham's stick, and the Thunder get it right back. An unfortunate bounce there for the Prowlers. And under a minute after Evan Foley made it a 5-3 game, we are now at 5-4. Melso and Foley in on the faceoff. It's 1-2 the near side boards. I believe that should be Wilson's goal, his second of the night, 12th of the season. Right now they're giving it to Danila Malushkin. So I may be mistaken on that one. Malushkin did leave the high fives at the bench. Either way, here come the Prowlers, 3-on-2 if they hurry. Foley drops it off to Stoya. Stoya makes a couple of extra moves, but he lost the puck. And he gives it up to Grant Mentis. Marquis Grant Mentis steps around Hainsel, but Adam Hainsel able to get a stick in there on the back check. Jay curls back, and now sends a long pass up to Stoya. Stoya didn't touch it, so icing called against the Prowlers with 17.5 minutes to go in the third period. Officially 53 seconds between the goals from Foley and Malushkin. It's Malushkin's second of the game as it stands right now. Thunder back on it. Asp wrists it on, blocked on the way through by Foley. Here's Foley again. Reverses it towards Stoya. Stoya knocks it away from DiCostanzo. And Matt Stoya dumps it in. Prowlers go off for a change. Stoya stays out there for an extra minute, up on the forecheck. Moritz up to Wolf. Feeds it all the way across looking for Weber. And that one chipped out of play, and the puck drops into the stands. Not something that you can say very often here in Delaware, where they have the netting all the way around, except for the benches side. But all the way around those stands on the far side of the ice, there is netting. Maybe tough to see on your screen. Faceoff will come at center. It's Basie taking it off the draw. Over to Ivanov. His pass nowhere near its target, and Joe Devaney turns it up ice. Devaney just dumps it in. Wolf takes a hit there from Chartrand out to Devaney, and a good back check from Weber to prevent that shot. Johnson's drive is blocked by Wolf, and the fans loving that. Johnson long up to Devaney. Devaney up to Chartrand, outside try, stopped by Kozlowski. The rebound set there. Comes out to Johnson. Over to Thackeray, off his skate. Malushkin trying to get around Dylan Thackeray, and Thackeray out-muscles him. Wilson gives it back to Ivanov in his own end. Malushkin looking for Wilson. Wilson sidestepped a hit from Thackeray. Ended up going down to a knee anyway. Here's Wilson again behind the net. Up high, Hannakainen. Wrists it wide. Chipped around. Parsons chasing after it in the near side corner with Wilson. Malushkin comes up to the point, stops up. Feeds it down low to Wilson. Thackeray knocked it away. It's chopped out of play. Just 4.5 minutes into period number 3, each team with a goal. And it's a 5-4 Port Huron Prowlers lead. Defensive zone draw coming though for the Prowlers. We're up on shots early on in this period, 3-1. Foley and Melso on the faceoff. Melso won it forward and tried to send it quickly on net. I don't think he got that one through. Melso again in the corner. Walks up the wall. And now the Prowlers take it away. It's Stoya with Parsons. Gives it to him. Parsons dropped back to Jay. Saved by Kozlowski. He wasn't exactly sure where that shot was coming from. And now Dustin Henning recovers the puck in his own end. Henning up the boards. Just gets it out. Bedard on it. Over to Asp. Taken away by Stoya. Stoya, second chance opportunity. Gets it to Jay. Dalton Jay pulls up, gets to the middle of the ice, taken down. It's rimmed all the way around. Hainzel wrists it on, deflected by Stoya, but wide. Delaney up to the point, it comes. Minnie wristed it on, and a good save by Kozlowski. Delaney moves up ice, Foley muscles him off. Hainzel, D to D2, Minnie tried to one-touch it up the ice. Able to knock it away from Di Costanzo. Adam Hainzel steps in, took a big hit there from Rasmus Asp. Fans loving that one. Hainzel back down the wall. It was sent out to the slot, no Prowlers home there. And Jacob Wolf dumps it in on Hofflin. Hofflin gathers it back in and covers up. Wolf takes a hit there from Devaney. As Wolf went in hard on Hofflin. Gave him a bit of a snow shower, and Joe Devaney took some exception to that. 13:55 to go, third period. Defensive zone faceoff coming for the Prowlers when we return. Prowlers up by 1 here in Harrington. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I've worked at Pioneer and now Corteva for 36 years. It goes by very quickly.
This is a pretty noble profession where you're giving back to humanity.
Curiosity is so important. I learn something new every day.
What's that next challenge that may occur for farmers? You do really feel like you've got an impact on what's coming.
I can see how we're making things better.
And we have the best solutions for our farmers. And I think we're here to feed and fuel the world. I'm proud to be part of that culture, and I'm proud to be part of the company.
Under under 14 minutes to go, third period here in Delaware. It's the Port Huron Prowlers with a 5-4 lead on the Delaware Thunder. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We are squeezed into a crow's nest above the scorers table here in Delaware. Sightlines are a little bit tough for us, but hopefully you guys are getting a good view at home of what's going on the ice. I'm sure you got a great view of Gino Mini's highlight reel goal in the last period. That one sent on net. Hofflin forced to cover up as he tried to steer it away and just didn't get all of it. Graham and DiCostanzo back in the face-off circle. DiCostanzo able to win this one back, but it ends up coming to Dan Chartrand. Chartrand gets the red line, gets it deep. Basie rims it around towards Weber. But all the way across to Wolf. Passes behind him. Graham chips it on for Devaney. Devaney back across, couldn't find a teammate. Johnson rims it around to Joe Devaney. Graham out to Chartrand to Johnson. Fires and it's blocked by Weber. Weber and Thackeray chasing after it. And Weber able to take it away and he scores. Austin Weber has tied the game. The block shot on one end, chasing the puck down on the other. It's a 5-all game. And the fans in Delaware going nuts. A true 200-foot goal for Austin Weber, even if he didn't have to go of the full 200 feet, but to make the defensive play on one end with the block shot and follow it up on the other. It's a two-way forwards type of goal. Someone will have to break through at least one more time in this game before we're out. 5-5 our score. Hannakainen fanned on that one. Henning hustling up to it. Takes a hit there at the red line. Hannakainen skates into it. Drops it off to Malushkin. Fed it all the way across. Gagnon takes it off the wall. He goes off the glass, but that one caught the roof. Out of play. 12:42 to go, third period. It's a 5-5 tie between the Prowlers and the Thunder. Prowlers just trying to get some points out of this road trip to Harrington before they start a lengthy homestand back in Port Huron. I hope to see everybody there at McMorran Place for some great hockey coming up in March for the Prowlers. Every single game for the remainder of the month of March for the Prowlers will be at McMorran Place. Graham, head up, trying to feed it out high. Almost every single game. They do have a home and home on the last day of March and the first day of April with the Motor City Rockers. And that one is home on the 31st, so I was correct. Every single game for the Prowlers for the remainder of March after tonight will be at McMorran Place. Get your tickets at phprowlers.com/tickets. And I hope to see you there. Come say hi. Although not during the game because I'm a little bit busy, but before the game, between periods, say hi. I'll be walking around. Off the draw, sent on net. And it's stopped by Kozlowski. Comes out in front. Hainsel chasing it down. Adam Hainsel leaves it behind the cage for Mini. Back up to Hainsel. Chartrand through the neutral zone. Plenty of Thunder back. Chartrand over to Graham. One touches it back the other direction. That one behind Stoya. Delaney tried to curl away from Graham. Graham took it away. Chartrand on net. Saved the rebound. Squirts there, and it goes all the way around. And Hainsel put it back on net from the boards. Long outlet pass by Moritz. He completely fanned on it. And Chartrand dumps it back in. Prowlers get a change going with 11 and a half minutes to go in period number 3. Grant Mentis through center. Devaney took it off his stick. Over to Foley. Back to Devaney. Saved by Kozlowski. The rebound. They score! Matt Stoya following it up. His second of the game, and the Prowlers are back in front. And all of that coming off of the turnover from Marquette Grant Mentis as Joe Devaney took it right off his stick in the offensive zone. And what did they tell you in hockey? The two places you don't want to turn over the puck is around the blue lines. Those are the two places you really make sure you make the plays, and Marquette Grant Mentis turned it over just inside the blue line. Prowlers make him pay. DiCostanzo looking for an answer. He's knocked down. Fans want a penalty. It won't come. Thackeray around to Johnson. Head up, sends it towards Jay. Missed his stick, and icing called against the Prowlers with 10:53 to go in the third period. It's officially Matt Stoya from Evan Foley and Joe Devaney to give the Prowlers that lead. Joe Devaney now up to 2 goals and 2 assists on the evening to lead all scorers. This is his second game back in Delaware after he played 6 games here last season. 10 points for Devaney in those 6 games as a member of the Delaware Thunder. Wolf curling away from Thackeray. Comes up the wall, winding and firing is Basie. He sent it wide, Devaney chasing after it. Ivanov able to keep it deep. Wolf put it out in front, good save, the rebound, another one, but then they score. Wolf found the puck in the crease. Almost a highlight reel save there for Wyatt Hoffland, and we are tied up again. And it's another quick response. Jacob Wolf picks up his 4th goal of the season. Former member of the Elmira Mammoth. And these 2 goals coming 43 seconds apart. So the lead short-lived for the Port Huron Prowlers. They'll need more. As Henning able to keep it in momentarily. Graham goes over to Parsons. Chartrand dumps it in. Wilson leaves it for Hannah-Kynan, shoved off by Graham. Chartrand couldn't keep the puck deep. Malushkin up to Gafarov. Gafarov back to Malushkin. He shoots. Saved by Hoffland. He knocked it down with a glove, and he's able to find it and cover up. The goals are coming fast and furious in this third period. And we'll take a breather with 9:54 to go in it. You are watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Back here in Delaware, 6-6-hour score between the Prowlers and the Delaware Thunder. Joe Devaney has 4 points for the Port Huron Prowlers. Matt Stoya, a couple of goals. Dan Chartrand and Alex Johnson, a pair of assists each. Evan Foley with a goal and an assist. They're the multi-point guys for the Prowlers so far tonight. Austin Weber leading the way for Delaware. He's a goal and 2 helpers. Houston Wilson, Jacob Wolf, goal and an assist each. Dennis Gafarov has a pair of assists, and Danila Malushkin, 2 goals on the night. It's been a wild one. Prowlers scored 2 in the first. As off the draw, it's sent towards the net. Prowlers have 2 in each period. And Delaware 3 in the second, and now 3 here in the third. That's how we got to this 6-6 score. Chartrand couldn't find Devaney. Asp works it up the boards. Chartrand dumps it in. And now Kozlowski took a spill trying to play the puck behind the net. And that one sent right out of play by Asp. They're saying it hit the glass. Prowlers called for the delay of game penalty. They do say it hit the glass. So the Thunder catch a break there as Rasmus Asp does barely graze the pane of glass before it goes out of play. Will be an offensive zone faceoff for the Prowlers, though, with 9:26 left in regulation. Henning, wrist on, deflected, and a good save there from Kozlowski. Parsons tried to kick it along. Instead, it comes out to Delaney. TJ Delaney makes a move to the backhand. Couldn't get it on net, and Marquis Mentis robbed by Hofflin in the slot. Parsons up the boards towards Jay. Tried to chip it along. Marquis Mentis sent it back in front. Parsons knocked it down. He'll head up ice. Parsons to Jay. Comes to Graham with space. He scores! Matt Graham gets in on the fun. It's 7-6 Prowlers. And that rush all started by Brian Parsons knocking down the puck in his own slot and then starting it up ice. And Matt Graham able to get that puck. Plenty of open space, and he picked his corner, notching his 14th goal of the season. So we'll see how long this Prowlers lead lives. Port Huron hoping that it goes for another 8 minutes and 48 seconds because that's how much time we have in this third period. Minnie curls away from DiCostanzo. Up to Foley, chips it out. Hannakainen just able to get forward to Wolf. Now Bedard off of Chartrand. It's Weber at the Prowler blue line. Gives it to Hannakainen, who enters his own outside try, steered away by Hofflin, chopped along by Chartrand, out of the zone. Chartrand has it again. Moving up ice all the way across to Foley. Came off his stick. Just couldn't handle that hot pass. Devaney keeps the puck deep. Bedard first on it. Chartrand hassling him, and now Dan Chartrand will go to the bench for a change. Weber gets the red line, dumps it in. Hofflin plays it. Stick handles and sends it up to Matt Graham. Graham couldn't make a pass over to where he wanted it. Puck ends up back in Prowler's territory. Minnie up to Graham. Slowly and dumps it in. Aspen J on it. 7.5 minutes to go. Third period. Rims over to Malushkin. Picked off by Thackeray. Dylan Thackeray absorbs a hit from Malushkin. Feeds down to Jay out front looking for Stoya. Now Thackeray again wrists it on, and Kozlowski has it in the breadbasket. He'll hang on for a whistle. 7:15 to go, third period. In what has been an absolute barn burner in Harrington, back and forth all night long. Melso and Graham on the faceoff. Delaney couldn't dance around Stoya. Graham finds the puck, he shoots, it's blocked by Moritz and flies out of play. And J.C. Moritz feeling the effects of that one a little bit. Moritz steps off the ice. Just about everybody else stays the same as Moritz's defense partner, Rasmus Asp, joins him on the bench. Comes back to Stoya, quick shot, blocked by Melso. Melso took Graham into the wall. Basie up to Grant Mentis. Grant Mentis working on Johnson, slows up, wrists it towards the net, and Hofflin catches that one and hangs on. 6:53 to go in period 3. Prowlers will send out the Foley line. We go up against Eric Melso for this face-off. It's Foley, Chartrand, and Devaney. Prowlers having to mix up the lines a little bit, of course, with Torrey McLean being kicked out. Foley, head up, he dumps it in. This line was together last night, Foley, Devaney, and Chartrand. Puck hops up in the air, Melso knocks it down with the glove. Chartrand tried to work it up the boards. Grant Mentis has it now. Grant Mentis over to Basie. He'll send it in deep. Hofflin keeps it moving around towards Chartrand. Chartrand gives it back to Devaney. Devaney dancing past his man. Joe Devaney puts it deep to Foley. Up high it comes to Henning. Henning just dumping it deep, making sure that puck stays in, and Chartrand played it to the front of the net. Kozlowski covers it up in his crease. 6:05 to go, third period. The Let's Go Thunder chant starting from the crowd here at the Delaware Fairgrounds Center Ice Arena. Graham line out there for the Prowlers against the DiCostanzo line. Of course, that includes Austin Weber, who's played well for Delaware tonight. Stoya winds and fires up a wrist shot. Really loaded up that wrister, but just blockered out of play by Kozlowski. And if you had any question about what the face-off play is for this line, look at the last 3 offensive zone draws from that spot. Matt Graham has won it back to Matt Stoya for a quick shot. This time, though, it ends up in the corner. Hannakainen rims it around. Hansel gets it deep. Hannakainen and Graham in there together. Graham shoves down Hannakainen. DiCostanzo around towards Bedard. Bedard up to Weber. Couldn't get his pass through. Weber knocks it down with a high stick. Then it was touched by Stoya. Oh, it just glanced off of Matt Stoya's skate, but they whistle it down anyway. Thunder wanted that play to continue. Prowlers catch a bit of a break there, as Delaware will switch up their lines. Graham and Wilson slide into the face-off circle. Wilson wins it back. Malushkin gets it to Hannakainen. He dumps it in. Hofflin leaves it for Gino Mini. 5.5 minutes to go, third period. Jay sent it up towards Graham. Stoya chasing after it with Bedard. Bedard gets there first, and he stops up. Charlie Bedard over to Malushkin. Chips it past Devaney. Mini gets it right back towards Joe Devaney. Devaney works up the right wing side. Winds, comes to the outside. His shot goes off of Asp's stick. Foley able to keep it at the line. Good play there by Evan Foley. Keep that puck alive for the Prowlers and give them a chance to complete a change. Ship back out. Chartrand dumps it right back in. And Kozlowski stops it behind the cage. Chartrand coming on. And Asp keeping it away from the oncoming Dan Chartrand. 4:40 to go, third period. Malushkin leaves it for Gafarov, looking for Malushkin. He turned it back on net. Hofflin had that one locked up. Wilson in the corner. Couldn't play it out front as the whistle blows. Not sure what the whistle was for. Maybe the net came off or something along those lines. Are they taking somebody to the penalty box? I believe a Prowler is heading to the penalty box. I can't see from here because the penalty boxes are directly below me, but we'll get the call for you and let you know what it is when we come back. 4:24 to go, third period here in Delaware. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeboard cutting to the net. Save, rebound, score!
Every goal,
Back to Jay. Wrist shot, he scores!
every save,
Away the other way, Papandrea. Saved by Hoffman. The rebound. Another one.
every hit,
Good hip check.
every
Fires, and he scores!
single
Michael Haskins, cutback, heading with another good shot. And then a left. Oh, boy.
game.
Cardinal. Poked away by Hoffman, and the Prowlers win it!
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
We invite you to tune in to our next broadcast on Friday, March 10th, when the Prowlers host the Elmira Mammoth. Puck drop is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. and the pregame show starts at 6:50. It's all right here on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Well, we seem to be at full strength in the Prowlers defensive zone, so if you could tell me what that whistle was for, I'll believe you whatever you say. Chartrand tried to send it out, but Bedard knocked it down with the glove. Now Alex Johnson tries his luck, and Foley able to force it out. Bedard D to D to Asp. Wilson deflects it in. Johnson rims it around, 4 minutes to go, third period. Sent back on net, Johnson blocks it and gets out of the zone. Bedard up to Malushkin. Expect to see a lot of him over these last 4 minutes. Johnson to Foley, he's just able to tip it out. This top line, Malushkin, Gafarov, and Wilson. Yeah, expect to see a lot of them over these last 3 minutes and 35 seconds. Basie, D to D to Ivanov, back to Alex Basie. Comes to Gafarov, gets his way through Thackeray, and then he falls down. Thackeray starts to rush the other way. Chartrand chips it deep. He'll head off for a change as Alex Basie retrieves in his own end. Jay knocks it away from him. Graham on the deflection. That one wouldn't go. Stoya winds up, gives to Jay, and that one somehow didn't make it on net. Puck fluttered towards the goal. Graham now collecting it in the corner. Up high, Stoya takes it. That one deflected wide. 3 minutes to go, third period. It's dumped out. Parsons gave it up to Grant Mentis. Grant Mentis sends it deep. Henning and Delaney get there together. Delaney sent it out, but right on the stick of Dalton Jay. Jay slowly through center, and he sends it deep. Heads off for some new troops. 2.5 minutes to go, third period. Asp works it up to Bedard. Bedard couldn't get around Devaney. Melso finds the puck on the far side. Melso with it to Grant Mentis, off the post. He rang the iron from the slot. Back around it comes. Bedard on net, and Hofflin able to track it and cover up for a whistle. 2:05 left to go, third period. That top line for Delaware coming back out, and we'll likely see them for the rest of regulation. It's Malushkin, Wilson, Gafarov, Ivanov also is out there, and Basie is the other defenseman. Gafarov up high to Ivanov, wrists it on, blocked by Foley. All the way back to Delaware ice. Basie plays it off the glass. Devaney takes it away. Devaney head up looking for Foley on the far side. Puck stays in play. Malushkin stepped up on by Hainzel, forced to dump it in. Minute 40 to go, third period. Wilson centers, right to Evan Foley. Off the boards, not out. Basie, his shot deflected, out of play. With 91 seconds to go in period number 3, no sign of Spencer Kozlowski heading to the bench for an extra attacker. In a 7-6 game, just again a minute 31 to go in regulation. Top line still out there for Delaware. Bedard and Asp now the defensemen. And Matt Graham will take the draw against Houston Wilson. Tied up there at the dot. Bunch of players trying to dig it out, and Johnson does. Jay starts a rush. Jay crosses with Stoya. Puck ends up below the goal line. Work to Graham. Chop deep. Stoya and Asp there battling for it. Rasmus Asp on the puck. Up to Wilson. Head up, gives to Malushkin. Malushkin dumps it in. We've hit the final minute of play in the third period. Kozlowski still in his goal crease, but looking up towards the bench. DiCostanzo on the puck. Thackeray takes it away. DiCostanzo has it back. DiCostanzo poked off his stick. Bedard tried to poke it deep. Chartrand able to block it. Now Thackeray head up, gets it to Alex Johnson, 35 seconds to go. Johnson curls away from Bedard, gives to Chartrand. He sends it in. Asp with 23 seconds on the clock. Prowlers able to turn it back the other way. And now Chartrand with a steal at center. Prowlers in, but offside is the call. 13.3 seconds left in the third period, and the Thunder just can't get Kozlowski to the bench. Delaware sending out Grant Mentis, centering Weber and Wolf. Also have Ivanov and Basie out there. Now DiCostanzo coming onto the ice. Grant Mentis back to the bench. And now Weber. Kozlowski to the bench, 7 seconds to go. Graham just wants to pin it to the boards there. They dig away, and Devaney will ice the game. And the Port Huron Prowlers escape with a 7-6 win over the Delaware Thunder tonight. Final shots 29-28 in favor of Port Huron. An absolutely wild game from start to finish. And it ends with 3 points for the Port Huron Prowlers. As the Prowlers end their 3-game losing skid, they move to 22-19-3, now 67 points, still fourth in the Continental Division. Meanwhile, the Thunder fall to 5-34-3, still fifth in the Empire Division. Before we get too deep into the post-game show, just one more reminder to tune into our next broadcast next Friday when the Prowlers host the Elmira Mammoth. Of course, though, you got to be there to experience it. Prowlers hockey is best experienced at McMorran Place. Be there next Friday, March 10th, when the Prowlers take on the Elmira Mammoth. But if you can't make it, we hope you tune in here on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Well, an absolutely wild game, as I mentioned. Prowlers had a 2-0 lead through one period thanks to goals from Matt Stoya and Joe Devaney. Those two would show up again, but Danila Malushkin had a power play goal, got his team within one early in the second. Devaney got it right back for the Prowlers. And then Gino Mini with one of the top 10 goals of the year, certainly for the Prowlers so far. A couple of nice moves. Made it 4-1 Prowlers at that point, but Delaware battled back. Houston Wilson scored shorthanded, and Marquis Grant Mentis got another one. And before the second period was out, the Prowlers saw themselves with just a 1-goal advantage. Evan Foley, 48 seconds into the third, extended that lead to 2. But seconds later, Malushkin scored again, and that made it a 1-goal game. Austin Weber tied it up after blocking a shot in his own end, chasing down the puck and scoring on the ensuing breakaway. Made it 5-5, but Matt Stoya made it 6-5 Prowlers, and then seconds after that, Jacob Wolf got it right back for Delaware. But Matt Graham with the game winner tonight at 11-12 of the third period. And the Prowlers can exhale. They can head home with 3 points in their pocket. We have not heard the announcements of the 3 stars of the game yet, but Joe Devaney certainly has to be up there. He led all scorers with 4 points tonight. 4 other Prowlers finishing with 2 points. Dan Chartre and Alex Johnson, Matt Stoya, and Evan Foley. Meanwhile, for Delaware, Austin Weber led the way with 3 points. Houston Wilson, Jacob Wolf, Dennis Gafarov, and Danila Milushkin with a pair of points apiece. So Wyatt Hoffland picks up the victory for the Prowlers, 22 saves on 28 shots. Spencer Kozlowski takes his first career pro loss, 22 saves on 29 Prowlers shots. Before we wrap things up, let's take one more look around the FPHL. Of course, the games pertaining to the Port Huron Prowlers, and we'll start, but we'll get to that one in a moment, but we start in Elmira, where seems to be a little bit of confusion here on the live stats, so we'll skip that one for now. It looks like the Danbury Hat-Tricks beat the Mammoth 4-3 in a 10-round shootout. So looks like a wild one in Elmira as well. Prowlers know a thing or two about long shootouts. The Carolina Thunderbirds have a 4-3 lead on the Motor City Rockers as they play in the final 2 minutes of the third period. Prowlers hoping for a Carolina victory so that they can be closer to Motor City heading into next weekend. Binghamton and Columbus knotted up at 2 apiece as they get set for the third period of play down in Georgia. And the Mississippi Seawolves and Watertown Wolves tied at 3 midway through the second period. Well, XL Prowlers fans, your team picked up the 3 points tonight, and they'll head home for a long homestand for the rest of the month of March. I hope to see you there, but for now, for everyone here in Harrington, I'm Will Wiggleman. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight, and we'll see you next time on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel.